Hey guys, coming to you from Washington. Happy Thursday. It's a little noisy where I'm at. I'm actually under a bridge. And as you look in the distance, maybe if I kind of get out of there, you'll see the beautiful drop off below here is a great cliff, beautiful waterfalls. It's Washington, it's gorgeous. I found this gorgeous place while out on a business meeting, and I thought, what a great place to talk about tonight's message. And so, with our Thursday night message, I want to kind of recap our week. First of all, we'd like to welcome you to TCI, the Church of Inclusion. My name is JB. I am the senior spiritual leader, the pastor or founding pastor of this church, this spiritual sanctuary, as we call it. 25 years ago, this last August, was on the 15th, my 25th year in the ministry and the 25th year of TCI's foundation when we opened the doors. Now, what's interesting is we've evolved over the time. We've even grown, and our actual outlook and what we want to do on life has changed according to our own perceptions, the perceptions of things around us. So this week we were talking a lot about lies. You know, on Monday we spoke about lies and truth. And that was an interesting note. If you haven't seen the message, please look at it. It was a really good message. And it wasn't as good as Wednesday's. I loved it yesterday. If you didn't get a chance, read the message by Sierra. Sierra is one of our board members and also a spiritual leader at the organization. And what an amazing person she is. Sierra, again, followed in on the theme, and so we're discussing this week the concept of lies and truths. And I come from the church Christian background, and there's nothing wrong with that, by the way. I know a lot of people out there like, hey man, lay off the whole church thing. Yeah, lay off the non-church thing. It's okay. I can come from the church world, and you don't have to, and we can still be on that beautiful mutual ground of respect with each other. So what's interesting is you got Sierra and me, we both have different backgrounds and we have different perceptions, yet we're looking at the same topic this week and discussing it, and it was really great to hear her message talking about lies and truths. Now, one of the first things that caught my attention during her message was she used a couple references to knowing yourself, and that prompted me back to my spiritual father. On this arm here, I've got this beautiful tattoo, "Let's go, old man." And there's 3 roses, and one of the roses is a very flamboyant rose, and it's in honor to one of my 3 fathers, and his name was Vivi, and Hector Vivi is one of my, well, he's one of my heroes. And Vivi, he was a stylist, a hairstylist, had his own salon, a huge production line, got a gold medal. Did you even know they had gold medals for hairstyling? I didn't. Dad is one of the greatest characters you'll ever meet. Now, here's what's interesting about the Vive, as I like to call him. I would sit in that chair, and Vive had people from all over the world, senators and millionaires, come and sat in his chair. And everybody would always ask him questions and say, hey, Vive, you've heard a lot or you've seen a lot. Why don't you tell me what to do? Now, Vive would say, I'm not going to tell you what to do because I can't tell anybody what to do. What I can do is I can tell you what I did and what worked for me, and maybe that'll work for you and maybe it won't, okay? And what's even more interesting is when I would ask the questions, I would say, Vive, I'm confused, or I don't know what to do. And he would go, well, that's because you don't know yourself. You have to know thyself. That term, know thyself. And he would say it over and over. My whole existence, from the day I was born, this man spoke that into my life. He cut my hair as a baby, and the first haircut, all the way up until just last year when I had my last hair, little trim job by him at the house. Now, know thyself, know thyself, know thyself, son. Know thyself, know thyself, know thyself, daughter. This is what he would say over and over, and I never got it. I really didn't. I thought I understood about who I was as a person. I thought I knew myself. And then one day I realized I was lost. And I was confused with life and God and everything. And I remember walking into the salon that day. And I said, you know, man, I'm lost. I don't know what to do. And he looks at me and he goes, oh, that's really simple. And I'm like, I thought you never tell us what to do. He goes, I'm not going to tell you what to do. I'm going to tell you it's simple because I've gone through it. And here's what I did, and here's what worked for me. And I didn't want to hear those words. And then he started to tell me about how he had to learn to know himself before he could figure out who God was. Because God is in you, God is in him, God is in me. And if you want to know God, just got to start searching yourself. Now, there's a truth. God is in all things. God is in all creation. The cement you drive on or the street you drive on, again, it's a product that came out of the earth, out of other elements in the earth. It's all God. The buildings that you live in, the wood came from the tree. The tree was planted here on this earth from a previous seed, from a previous seed, from a previous seed, from the beginning of creation of all time. So the DNA of God is everywhere. As a fourth generational preacher, I sure get ticked off when I hear preachers tell people. I remember, as y'all know, I like fedoras, right? I love hats. And I was sitting in the back of a church not too long ago, a few months, and a man told me to take my hat off. And I said, why? And he goes, because you're in a house of God. First off, hey, knucklehead, let me tell you something. You're wrong. That's not a house of God. Do you want to know what the house of God is? I know. Hang on. Hang on to your shorts because it's about to get crazy. You're looking at the house of God right here. And you're looking at the house of God right there if you just go look in the mirror. You are the house of God, not a building. If you think that church, that God is actually looking in that building for you on Sunday to see if you take your hat off in reverence to God, man, you are solely mistaken because God doesn't care about that at all. No, he doesn't. He actually cares more about the fact that you're disrespecting yourself by overindulging in food or drugs or alcohol or sex or business, workaholics. I can go on and on. That's what he's more concerned about. While pastors are more concerned about the beauty of our yard and the amount of gas we use to heat the facility or the proper look of its members, or you can't greet this person because you don't have the proper look. God doesn't care about that. Lies and truths. The lie is from us as society. The truth comes from the deity. And so I had to learn to know myself. So who was I? That journey, I thought, honestly, that I started it a long time ago. But it wasn't until I went through a divorce, a massive tragedy. And after that tragedy, I really was lost and in a dark place. And while in the dark place, that's where finally I had to go back to my old childhood and say, what do I do? And I remember my birth father used to say, whenever you're lost, no matter what happens, just go back to the beginning. And in the beginning was God. And it's a simple statement. Hear me when I say that. If you ever get lost, go back to the beginning. And in the beginning was God. I'm not talking about a religious text that someone wrote. I'm talking about there is a divinity, people. I have passed on 3 times and met this beautiful deity called God, the creator, your papa, your mama, the one who is there and put it all in motion. And you know something? This being of love is what the deity is all about. It is a being of love. Sorry about the distraction there. As you can see, we're dealing with rain, and so a little raindrop got on the head of the little production kit there. But here's the deity, and the deity created all this for you and me. And I had to search and go back to the beginning. And in the beginning, it was just God. In the beginning of my life, it was just me as a child, this happy little kid, and my creator. And now I'm 46, and I'm like, what am I doing? Who am I? Well, I know who I am now, but I didn't know then because I wasn't looking at the truth. I was looking at the lie. I was successful. I had the millions of dollars and all the trappings and all the Ferraris and all the toys and all the women, and I had it all. But did I? I didn't. I have nothing in comparison to what I used to have. My wealth is gone. my accolades are gone. Most of them got thrown in the trash. Most of my plaques and my knighthood and all those things, they're all gone. What does that matter? If I died today, what does any of that mean? It means absolutely nothing. But here's what I do know. Here's the truth about me. That I am an ambassador of love. That's the truth. That I love all people. I don't like all people. I want you to know that. My best friend actually joked with me one day. She said, I don't want you to love me because I know you do. I want you to like me. Now, there's funniness to that, but there's some truth to that. See, I don't like everybody. I know you don't like everybody. But we got to love them. So the first truth was, I realized I'm an ambassador of love. That the man that waged war with these fists now wages war with this heart. That inside this chest, I wake up and I go to sleep and I think of other people to try to figure out how to make their life just a little better. Just a little better. Maybe I can show enough light in their little sphere so that they can see a path. Not necessarily my path, because my path is for me and your path is for you. But if I can be a bright light in your path, and all of a sudden, as it's illuminated, you go, I get it, Eureka! I know myself now. And see, that was the discovery of knowing thyself. I learned what it was that it was about. It's not about having the Tommy Hilfiger jacket, or the Bailey's hat, or putting on the Rollie, or having the jewelry. It's not about any of that. And it's about that guy on that street corner. And I'm not talking about the homeless one. I'm talking about the guy who's the pastor. I'm talking to you, the guy who's the lawyer, the lady who is a CEO of a company. I'm talking to those people that look like everything is put together. Snazzy, sharp, educated, but inside they are so lonely. The truth is they are broken. They are broken, and they're broken typically because of their own actions. I know there's an exception to that rule with everything, but that to me is who I want to speak to right now for a minute, because I've been that broken person, so broken that I didn't even recognize who I was, that I was a shadow of my former. So how do we overcome the truth and the lie in ourselves? The first thing you got to do is you got to look inside, and you got to say to yourself, hey, oh my soul, I got to deal with this crud. Now, how do you do that? It's not easy. You know, in sales, when I used to train multi-million-dollar national organizations on how to get people to be successful in sales, one of my favorite things to tell a guy and gal to do is real simple. Get your client to puke on the table. Get them to puke it all up. I want puke coming out. If they're not puking, you're not selling. Have them give you every reason why they can't buy. Give it all out on that table. Puke. Because once the puke's out on the table, that's where my job begins. I get to dig in it and pull it out. And, ooh, what's this? Oh, nope, that's not what it is. There it is. Under that nasty garbage is the grandchild, who's the most important thing to this lady. Oh, so I bet you don't want to have your grandchild grow up and know that you didn't take her on that dream vacation. Bing. You got the sale. Well, guess what? Same thing in your life. So let's get real for a second, and let's talk about how we get real with the truth and the lies of us. So the first thing you got to do is you got to strip down naked. Don't worry, I know what you're thinking. Oh my God, he's really going to start, isn't he? Chicka pound, chicka pound, chicka pound. I thought of my buddy George. You know, you ever seen that movie Animal House? It was filmed in Oregon, and my buddy actually, that was his fraternity house, and he was actually there and rented it out to the movie Animal House. I don't know why, George, I thought of you when I was doing the chicka pound, but I love you. Side note, sorry about that, folks. So don't worry, I'm going to keep my clothes on. But you got to strip down naked before yourself. Take all the crap away from it. Take all the lies. Listen, I've actually been credited as one of the best salesmen out there in multiple organizations across the board. I've got letters and awards and all that junk. But I call those the lies. They're truth, but they're not me. So let's put all that aside. And then over here on this side, I got my street cred. I'm known from East Coast to West Coast, North to South. There are certain circles my name still brings people tremendous fear. Yep, that's all truth. But again, lies. Let's throw that aside. Wow, come on, look at me. I'm beautiful, right? I know. Keep your applauses down. I can hear you all. Let's get that out of the way, too. I'm a genius. I got all that knowledge in here. People pay me millions of dollars for what's right behind that eyeball and between those two ears. Don't tell anybody. I'm not sure why, by the way. But that's still a lie. Let's slide that to the side. So what do I have left? What am I looking at right now on the screen in front of me? I'm looking at a 46-year-old man who is still scared. I don't fear. I don't have fears. I don't fear anything. See, the word fear spells F-E-A-R. Face everything and rise. That's how I look at fear. So when a fear comes up, it's really not fear to me. It's actually a feeling of being scared that came from something called fear. Well, I love fear. Fear is a good word. We heard Sierra use the word fear. And when that fear comes in, you need to stand up, face everything, and rise. Again, we're stripping down ourselves to the nakedness of who we are inside. We're discussing you and me as a person. No one else. Just you and just me. This is just JB having a conversation with you right now. No one else. Just you and me. And as I look at that person, I see that 46-year-old man. But I see a little boy. I see a little boy who's just scared. I see a little boy who just wants to go fishing with his dad, with his family, spend time with them. I see a little kid that just loves to drive places. He can't wait to go on vacations and just go cruising. Drive some people nuts that I go with. They're like, oh my God, do we have to see one more? Do you know what happened at that tree? Holy smokes. If you're wondering where I get that from, it's from my birth mother. We literally would be driving everywhere. An old man's driving, and all of a sudden Fran would be like, oh my God, Ed! And he'd be like, what? Look at that tree, it's so beautiful. I totally get that from my birth mom. But here's the thing. That's the little boy I see inside. When I went to my first stadium to preach, I was teaching at a seminar. Preaching, same thing. It's spreading good news. When I ended up going there, I couldn't get on the stage. There was 12,000 people, and 12,000 people is a lot of people. I was terrified. I had to have somebody walk up and take my hand and walk me to the stage. Now, once I stepped 1 foot up on the stage, Big Papa was on. It was all over. Got up, 12,000 people, they're like my best friends. What are you talking about? Walked off the stage, and I'm like, oh yeah, now that's how you guys do it if you want to know how you do it. And my friend's like, sure, except the fact that you couldn't get up the stairs without me. Again, lies and truth. Am I a great seminar speaker? Some would say I am. I had a speech impediment as a kid. So what did I decide to do? Become a speaker. I'm dyslexic. So what do I love to do? Read. I faced everything and I've risen. And I continue to face it and rise. And that means I have to face who I am as a person. And God, that can be damn scary sometimes. I'll be honest with you. It can be terrifying to look in the mirror. You say, oh no, I'm just a housewife. I've done nothing. It's not. You're not hearing me then. Look inside. Who are you as a person? You have to know thyself because you don't know God if you don't know yourself. You think you know God. I know many pastors who say, I know God. I'm the pastor. I have to know God. Oh, my dear friend, you're so wrong. I know a lot of people that don't know God, that say they do. Because they can't even say who they are as a person because they're living behind the lie. We have the great smile. We have the pastoral wave. God bless you. God bless you. Yes, my child. Be blessed. Life's great. And then we have this face that's very concerned and worried. And I can't share that with you. And I go home and I'm crying because I'm broken. There's the lie. You see, that's the person I'm speaking to right now. The person, not that homeless guy who we all know is in desperate need of help, right? No, I'm talking to the beauty. The one that's out there that looks perfect, that has the nice car and the nice house, and everything looks great. And you got all the science in the brain, and you know all the right words to say, and you might be the pastor, and you might be the parishioner, you might be the school teacher, you might be the swinger at the college. I don't know which one you are. But I know you're hurting down inside. And it's not a book you need. It's not 5 minutes with me to put my hand on you and pray for you. Well, it's none of those things. It's you need to get away on a walk. You need to go to a cabin. You need to get in your car and go camp in the woods. You need to find yourself. You need to know yourself. Know thyself, know thyself, know thyself, Jonathan. That's what he would say. Know thyself, know thyself, know thyself. So I've spent my whole life trying to know who I am. Once I finally figured out who I was, I then turned and I was like, okay, I got it. I got it, Vive. He goes, yeah? Tell me who God is. And the funniest thing, I could answer. I literally could answer. Well, God is this and God is that. God is this and all. He's like, isn't that something? See, people always say, I found God. Hogwash. You never found God. Because God found you. God is in you. Big G, little g. I know a lot of my conservative, right, evangelical Christians are going to go, whoa, dude, you just called yourself God. No. I said God is in you. You are God and God is you. You are one. My father birthed me. 50% of this DNA is Edward Joe Brown. I can't get away from that. 50% of it. I've got some of the same flaws in my finger, literally, that he had. Why? Because I have this DNA. I literally sometimes look at a video clip and watch myself and go, oh my gosh, that's what my dad did. Why? Because that's my DNA. Your DNA is God. My DNA is God. The deity, the creator, the universe, this consciousness that breathes in the trees and in the rain and in the air as it comes through, as the sun rises and the sun sets. That same creator is you, in you. Some people in our history have tapped into that. And they have made billions. Look at Steve Jobs. I love Jobs. Steve was an amazing character. He tapped into a creative power that some people can't even explain other than saying he must have met an alien. How about this? How about he finally got in touch with who he was, finally came to know himself, and then only did he finally tap into something that he had no clue that would change the world. And what's interesting is if you look at some of the greats out there who have changed the world like that, they all have that same inner struggle where they were trying to figure out who they were in the process. And finally, when they discovered who they were, their outer world, right, the truth and the lies, it all disappeared. All the lies kind of went away. And they didn't care anymore. They spent their life chasing fortune and fame, and now they're spending the last of their life trying to just love on people and do things for good. You see them throwing their fortunes instead of towards more fortunes, giving it away and trying to help people. And I understand a lot of people are like, well, that's just, you're skeptics. They're just trying to make themselves look good. Maybe they are. Maybe a few of them they are. But maybe there's a lot of them that actually figured it out. Where are you at in the process? Do you still believe that you're this sweet person? I've met church ladies. I call them church mamas. They're 70, 80 years old. Sweetest ladies you ever met. They bring the little bakes down at the bake sale, and they come over and, oh, God bless you, darling. And they've never swore a day in their life. Angelic to me. But I remember the first time one of those angelic church mamas came into my office and said, Pastor, and just started crying. And I was like, what is wrong? Who hurt you? What happened? And she goes, it's me. And I'm like, you're a pillar in the community. She said, if people knew how depressed I am on a daily basis, if they knew that I wished I was dead every day, that I had never been born, And I started to just curl inside because the sweet image, the lie, was gone. And for a moment, she showed me the truth of who she was. And so that's what I need us to look at as we end this week in discussions of truths and lies. What is your truth and what is your lie? This is where the rubber meets the road, baby. We can talk about it all day long. You want to become a millionaire? Come on over. Come meet with me. We'll sit down. We'll have a talk, and I'll give you all the little cues and little tips, and here's what you got to do, and here's what you got to avoid. I can show you all those tricks because all the millionaires that have taught me those tricks are, and I say tricks, but they're tools. Okay, you pull them out of your bag, you use it, you make a fortune. That's not what I want to do. What I want to do is try to help pull a tool out of a bag for you for your spiritual life. I want you to be a better husband, a better wife, a better partner. I want you to be a better son, to be a better father, a better mother, a better citizen, a better human. Better yet, I just want you to be the best version of you. Because after you take all the lies away and we strip it down and you get down to it, you are only on this earth for a short period of time. What did you do with it? When you were born, there was a date. When you die, there is a date. And if you go to a graveyard, you'll see the beginning date and the end date. And you know what's in between it? You've probably heard this 1,000 times. A dash. What did your dash say? What did your dash say? Did it say he was perfect and sweet and kind and had no problems? It won't say that about mine. But I hope to God that when that day does come for me, I hope that my dash says that he spent the rest of his life trying to love all people. Now that's my truth, and that is my reality. What's yours? Let's discover this week as you introvertly go inward. Let's go inside of yourself spiritually. Let's figure out, let's puke it all out, get it all on the table. Let's start picking through the puke to get to the serious meat of the issues. And I know a couple of you have contacted me in the last few weeks and said on some of the messages, how do I do that? Pick up the phone. That's what TCI is here for. We've got great pastors, great staff, great counselors, people who are highly educated, people who are highly experienced in these fields. All you need to do is pick up the phone and call us. Reach out via email. Shoot us a message on the Facebook page. Say, hey guys, I really could use some guidance on how to puke everything out so that I could try to evaluate who I really am so I can know myself. So as you go out this week, in honor of my father, Vive, let's get to know ourselves. Know thyself, know thyself, know thyself. I want you to understand this is not going to happen in a weekend. You're not going to wake up by next week and go, hallelujah, I know myself. No. You're not going to strip down naked and be like, woo, you look good. Well, I do look good. No, I'm kidding. You're not going to strip your lies away and instantly see it. It takes digging, and it takes having that mentor relationship. And here's the thing. You got to be honest with someone other than just you. You got to start with you. But then you need to pick and say, okay, I need someone to help guide me through this. And that's what we're here for at TCI. We love you guys. We don't have any judgments. This is a judge-free zone. I don't care what you've done. Trust me. There is plenty of blood on my hands. Okay? I don't judge you. No one at TCI judges you. We only do one thing here. And we do it really, really exceptionally well. We love all of you. So I want you to go out this week. And as it's raining or dooming and glooming, I don't care what it is, I want you to dig in to who you are. Get to know who you really are. Who's that sweet little child? Where is that person that you've lost with all the smoke and mirrors and all the lies? And let's get down to who you really are. And then let's spend the rest of our life together going down that path. Because, man, that is a path I can't wait to see you on. I love you guys. God loves you. Please reach out to TCI. If you enjoyed this message, please like it and share it on Facebook. Go on YouTube and like it so it gets the readers and the views out there. Please go ahead and subscribe to the channel. That's how we can continue to promote this movement, this revelation, and this revolution of love. God bless you guys. See you out there.